Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about my journey with Lyme disease. I'm not sure totally what I'm going to say here, but I feel like it's something that can not only help me heal, but can also help others. Maybe something that they can get out of it to relate to or help them heal or gather information. And it's something, I've always, wanted to talk more. I always want to talk more in depthly about because I feel like a lot of people, even people with Lyme, don't quite totally understand it. And it's such a weird, convoluted thing that's so misrepresented and so strange in many ways that it just kind of sucks the life out of you, but you really don't realize it does, or you don't understand why it does, or you can't even, you kind of normalize it. So I feel like it's important for me to kind of talk about it today. So here we go. So for me, about a little over 4 years ago, I did not know much about Lyme disease. I really didn't know anything about Lyme disease. The only thing I knew about Lyme disease was from a Simpsons episode, and I knew a friend's mom had it kind of bad for a long time. I lived on the East Coast, but I knew nothing about it. I was pretty healthy. I was totally fine. I was making movies. I lived in Los Angeles, and everything was fluid. And then one day I got these kind of strange symptoms where it actually felt like I was physically floating, and I got super sick. And it's the same kind of symptoms I actually got like 10 years ago when I was in college. And at the time, I didn't know what it was. And it kind of eventually went away without me ever really knowing. I never really, I would say, dealt with it. But it faded away because my immune system kind of, kicked it out. And I ate so healthy. I did yoga. I did all these things. So it kind of pushed it away. But I never really dealt with it. But I was fine for a long time. And then all these things happened in my life that kind of brought it back. So I basically, coming back to it, I woke up one day with these kind of strange kind of symptoms where basically what I would call, it's like my body's not circulatorily full, meaning like when I walk around, it doesn't expand the way it should. And it can create everything from disorientation to anxiety to weird nerve stuff, all kinds of stuff. So I was sick for a couple weeks, and then I was fine. I worked and everything, but the kind of feeling kind of never went away. My vision was affected, and this pressure in my head was there, and so on and so forth. So fast forward about 2 or 3 months later, after this initially happened, I basically woke up one day and everything just fell off, and I was super sick and super uncomfortable, and I knew something really was wrong. And that was 4 years ago. And it kind of started this journey, this crazy journey of trying to figure out how to not have these symptoms anymore. They have not really gone away in 4 years, not at any moment or any time. Maybe I've had little bits of moments here and there where it's like, okay, that's maybe for that second how I should feel. But for the most part, I've always felt off. And I've almost got to a point where I normalized it, which is something a lot of people with Lyme do. They kind of normalize their symptoms because they have to. They have to deal with it. They have to kind of adapt to it. They have to do it to cope, but they're really not better. They're really not feeling comfortable. And for myself, I'm someone that's always been able to drive, and I'm grateful for that. I've always been able to drive. I've always somehow been able to do what I need to do, but it's not been comfortable and it's not been easy. And it's it's something that I would say has been a good thing, but also a challenging thing because it's not for me. My healing, it hasn't been so like, oh, I'm not in as much pain anymore, I'm not in as much fatigue anymore. It's been kind of this like circular game and stuff. So coming back to it, I've for the last 4 years trying to escape this, trying to escape feeling this way. And every single day I wake up, I still feel this way. And it's something, no matter how tired I am or not tired I am, or how somewhat clear I am, or how much I can do, I always feel this feeling. And it's just this uncomfortable feeling. And it's not, this is for myself, but for other people, they feel their symptoms all the time as well. And it's something that's not, it's hard and it's challenging. And then we're, and through this, people are expected to try to like do work or get, most of all, try to get better because nobody else is helping them. So it's it's a challenging journey in that respect. But coming back to myself, so for the last 4 years, all I've been doing is trying to figure out what's causing this main symptom, what's causing it. And for a long time, I really couldn't do much, because I was so out of it or so sick. And you know, the bugs kind of create these pathogens, almost make it so it's hard or challenging for you to do what you need to do to get better. They almost kind of take over your body, and and you make these decisions you wouldn't make, you do these things you wouldn't do, and it's like that's not how you should feel, but again, it's like you normalize it and you get used to feeling that way, and you do everything you can to be comfortable and to get out of this, but it's like you don't really feel better. And that's kind of what it's been like for me. It's like I said, for the most part, barring some extreme, feeling really extreme with symptoms, have always been able to do stuff. But I've never been able to plan any day because my day has always been wrapped around the symptom that never, ever, ever goes away. And it's almost like I've been kind of on robot mode and automatic and automaton of sorts with this symptom and with feeling this way and kind of being dragged around this way. So it's been a process, it's been a process, but I feel like after 4 years, I'm finally clear about what I need to do to get better. But it's almost like the hardest part because it's like, okay, I still don't feel better, but it's like I'm letting go of all these things and trusting that, okay, everything's going to come together and everything's going to happen. And that's what it's been like for me also for 4 years. It's like laying on the couch, not being able to do anything, not being able to go do this, and kind of abiding, waiting like an hour or two, and then it's like, oh no, things shift, now I can go do something. And it doesn't even make sense because it's not like I'd be in pain or I'd be tired. It's almost like, again, I'm at the mercy of this cycle. So it's a lot of faith that we rely on. People with Lyme rely on this, and people deal with this. And guess what? They shouldn't. We shouldn't have to deal with all this because it's a travesty of mass proportions that people don't even realize. Because I will tell you that probably millions of people in this world of ours are affected to some way or degree by Lyme disease. And Lyme disease is kind of this umbrella thing, that it's, I would say that it's all these bacteria or pathogens that kind of break down your immune system and create all these strange symptoms. And it doesn't have to be that way because, if things were different in our medical system and, there was more knowledge of Lyme disease, much less people would suffer. But years go by when, years and years go by, like with myself, like 10 years ago, they would have been like, oh, this is Lyme, and it was treated correctly, not treated with, here's a couple weeks of random antibiotics. Who knows if I would have ever got these symptoms? And I'm not saying that because I don't think this is part of my journey or it's a part of the process or anything. I'm just saying that because there are ways that, this could have been changed or people didn't have to suffer so long. And it's sad, and it's ridiculous, and it's only getting worse, unfortunately. And I would say this: if you're a doctor out there, if you're a medical professional, if somebody comes into you with strange, odd symptoms and everything, refer them to a Lyme doctor, refer them to somebody who really knows what they're doing, because, like I said, most people don't, unless you're a specialist in this, don't know how to treat it. And on top of that, you will save this person so much suffering. So coming back to my journey, that was my little rant. It's been hard, it's been really, really hard because also I couldn't work. I had to live, I had to move back with my family and move back with my parents, which has been a challenge in itself, even though I'm super grateful for them and they've really, helped me tremendously. And I wouldn't have been able to survive or work. I couldn't even think straight. It's something that's actually very common, that people do that. People do move back to their, family because they have to, and they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s. And some people don't even have families. Some people don't have any money. Some people can't survive. I mean, it's something, it's like I said, it's a big travesty, but I'm sorry, I went on a tangent there, but, oh shit. Sorry, computer froze or went to black. Yeah. So for me, it's I had to come back, move there, and that was like 3.5 years ago. And the last 4 years for me has been like a blur. It's like been a blur in time where nothing has felt right, and nothing, and it's like I'm dragging my body around, and I go through the day and I go through the day and nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. I mean, in the bigger picture, in the general picture, I can see change, but it feels like nothing's changed. Nothing really has changed as far as like I still feel these symptoms. I've just, like I said, I've normalized it and I've adapted to it. And it's been hard because, I also look back at a lot of the 4 years, and a lot of the 4 years was not really me. It's like I look at myself, who I truly know I really am and I'm evolving to, and then I look at the like Lyme self. And for the most part, most of the last 4 years has been my Lyme self. And it's a hard thing to grasp that you wake up to, because you look at the last 4 years, and it's like, okay, I see that, and it's like, that was not me. None of those decisions were me, but I made those decisions. And it's almost like you're kind of picking up the pieces as you, feel better and trying to process all that. So Lyme kind of really messes with you, not just on a physical level, and not just because of the pathogens or the biochemistry, or messing with you in all these other ways. It messes with you on just your whole being and your whole life and everything you do, especially if you have symptoms that make you disoriented or feel like a different person, like myself, and feel like not me. It questions all the decision making, you do, and it questions everything you do, which is something I am now working on, pushing through. And it's hard because it's like not so, again, it's not, there's more to it than just treating and killing the pathogens. There's a lot of stuff you go through in the years that, a normal Lyme doctor's not even going to be able to help you with or even talk about, because it's something that you end up dealing with. And again, you normalize it. So yeah, so here I am, 4 years later, 4 years of life that I've just kind of felt like hasn't existed. 4 years of life that's just like, I go through the day, I can do stuff, but it's like never felt right. And it feels like it's a blip in time. And now I'm 4 years older, and it's like I'm trying to wake up from that, and I'm trying to push through that. And it's an uncanny feeling, it's an unsettling feeling. I used to always say, like, I feel like I'm in a Christopher Nolan movie or something. So yeah. So now I'm here, and I feel, like I said, I feel good about my plan this year, and I feel like finally I'm going to get out of it. But at the same time, it's not easy. Even being symptom free, there's more to it than that, because of the nature of everything you go through, and you can't take back life. You can't stop time, and it's something we all with Lyme deal with in our own way, to our own extent. And it's a weird feeling, it's a weird, strange thing. Like I said, that I brought my body here and I did all this knowing that one day I would wake up from it and have to deal with all this and deal with life again and all that stuff. And it's a very surreal feeling that nobody can really get unless they actually go through it. I think the closest equivalent to that is being in jail, and then coming out of jail after 4 years or 10 years or 15 years or whatever, you trying to adapt into the world, and like time was lost. So I hope somehow this helps, helps other people, helps everyone else with their journey, and just know this, like, you can get there, you can get to where you need to be. It's, however hard or however challenging it is, you have to realize, like, you are worth it, and you are worth everything. And you might be stricken with Lyme, and you might be battling it, and a lot of people might have treated you bad. Friends, family, people who are close. Doctors were not there for you. Doctors misled you. Doctors made you worse. Doctors, all this information. All these misleading information and not really helping you. But you can't let that stop you. You gotta, like, try to push through that. And it's hard, trust me. It's something I struggle with and I get angry about, and I am like, why did this doctor not 10 plus 50, like however long ago, 14, 13 years ago, not do this properly? Why did he not just listen to me or whatever? Would I even be in this situation? Would I have to do that? And, and again, you normalize it. You try to rationalize it, like, oh, it's okay, that life, it's like, that's the past. I have a lot of life ahead of me, but it's hard. It's like a lot of your life went away that you kind of have to let go of. Because the most important thing is, once you're symptom free, once you break through, you'll have everything. And you just have to believe that. And you have to believe that you're going to get there, because nothing else matters but that. And you got to put all your time and energy into that and into yourself. So I hope this helps. And I wish everybody a good luck on their journey. And please know that you are going to get there, and you're loved, and you are cared about. And, it's okay to say no. It's okay it's okay for you to stick up for yourself. You can't let anything get in your way from beating this.